What's going on, everybody? Loadout here. Today I'm going to be covering the Cancer boss in Remnant 2 on Apocalypse difficulty. This video is going to be an in-depth guide of the boss's moves and how to effectively counter each of them. Then I'm going to be going over the loadout. Timestamps will be in the description. Let's not waste any more time and get into it. To start off, the main gimmick of the boss are these things on screen now. In this video, I'm going to refer to them as root spikes. The main things you need to know about root spikes is they do damage when you're on top of them when they come out of the ground. There's a red indicator on the ground that happens around 1.5 seconds before one actually pops up. When walking through a root spike, you are slowed, and when dodging through it, it breaks. Remember these things because they're involved in most of the boss's attacks. Another noteworthy thing about this boss is he glitches. Glitching for this boss is actually an intended mechanic, and this boss's version of feinting an attack into another unexpected attack. Now that you know what you need to, let's dive into the boss's kit. This boss has 7 main attacks that he uses. The 3-hit combo, the head slam, the lunge attack, the line floor punch, the scatter floor punch, the jump attack, and the tentacle attack. This section of the video is going to be rather long, so if you want to skip this part, there'll be a brief summary of this section at the end. First up is the 3-hit combo. When the boss does the 3-hit combo, he'll typically swipe 2 times, then go in for a hug attack. However, the boss doesn't always end the chain with a hug attack. If you dodge behind him too early in the combo, you swap the hug attack for a head slam. I'll explain the head slam later. You don't want the boss to do this attack for 2 reasons. Number 1, this attack forces you to take distance from the boss and run. This gives you less time to damage him. Reason number 2, the boss throws it back so damn hard, you won't be able to see his weak spot, let alone shoot it. To prevent the boss from doing the head slam attack, you need to dodge into his attacks. This means left or right depending on which swing he's doing at the time of. Do this until the boss goes in for a hug attack. When he goes in for the hug attack, make sure to dodge into his attack so that you're behind them and have a chance to damage him. The boss can also glitch before going in for a 3-hit combo. When he does this, it means he's going to feint the first swipe attack of the combo. Next up is the head slam. In this attack, the boss lifts his head up and slams it into the ground. This creates root spikes in the surrounding area. To best avoid this attack, pay attention to his head and when he lifts it. Dodge as many times as it takes to get a safe enough distance away. After that, we have the lunge attack. In this attack, the boss dashes towards the player, does a quick swipe using his left arm. This attack is simple to evade. All you have to do is react fast enough during the dash part of the animation to evade the hit itself. Next, the line floor punch. This attack takes 2 forms. In the first one, the boss punches the ground, sending a line of root spikes at you. Keep in mind that the line can sometimes curve. The best way to avoid this attack is to be patient, stay aware of what direction you're dodging in. If you dodge in the wrong direction, you risk rolling into more upcoming root spikes. In the second form, the boss still punches the ground, but this time he'll send root spikes to your left and to your right, in an effort to trap you. This attack is more intimidating than it is effective. You can roll through the root spikes easily to escape the corner he's trying to put you in, and be particularly cautious when dealing with his follow-up attacks. After the line floor punch, we have the scatter floor punch. There are also 2 types of scatter floor punches, however both have the same solution. In type number 1, the boss punches the ground and root spikes will randomly attack around the arena. In type number 2, he does the same thing, but root spikes will appear right underneath you. The best way to avoid both these attacks is to be patient with your dodging and use iframes to avoid getting hit. Timing is key. Then there's the jump attack, a very simple move. In this attack, the boss will jump to either the entrance or the exit of the arena. When he hits the ground, a shockwave will spread the entire arena. To avoid, pay attention to the animation he does before he jumps. And when the shockwave comes close, roll into it. Lastly, we have the tentacle attack. The boss will always perform this attack after he jumps. In this attack, the boss will slam the ground with both his hands, sending 2 line floor attacks towards you, as well as make 2 tentacles appear from the ground. Typically, you'll spawn the tentacles at your feet, and you can tell when it will happen based off of the red indicator that will appear beneath you. The tentacle will stay in the same spot they spawn until the boss makes new ones. Now that the tentacles are in, they will periodically spawn root spikes in the surrounding area. The best way to deal with these tentacles is to stay aware of their locations in the arena at all times, and be sure to avoid them. Now it's time for the TLDR of all this. If you fight the boss enough, you will eventually learn all of the moves and be able to counter them effectively. but if there were just 2 final pieces of advice I could leave you with, they would be: stay constantly aware of your surroundings and the boss is not the only threat in the arena. And remember, the boss can mix up his combos, so stay ready for just about any attack at the end of any combo. You can also draw out certain attacks depending on your distance and positioning to the boss. I put a bunch of work into this video, so if you found it helpful at all, a like and a sub goes a long way, and it helps me make more helpful videos for y'all. Now let's go into the loadout. For this loadout I'm running the Bulldog with the Hotshot mod and the Twisting Wounds Mutator, the Enigma, the Abrasive Whetstone, Probability Cord, Black Cat Band, Stone of Malevolence, Ring of Diversion, and the Salvaged Heart. Now let's go into why I think this setup's best for the job. The Bulldog's strongest attribute is its ability to easily just keep shooting when you need it to. It does a lot of damage up close, it does a lot of total damage, and you don't need to always see the weak spot to do good damage. Paired with the Bulldog is the Hotshot. Cancer takes huge damage from fire. My Cancer had elemental resist, and fire was still doing work. In addition to that, you get a flat 20% damage increase to your gun while that ability is active. With the Ring of Malevolence, you'll always have Hotshot active. Activating the mod also reloads your gun. On the Bulldog, I'm also running Twisting Wounds. This is for the extra 20% damage to bleeding targets. The bleed itself is just a side benefit. For the handgun, I ran Enigma. I didn't use the gun itself too often, however, the point of running this gun is to stick the boss with the mod, then swap to the Bulldog to keep dealing damage. I used Abrasive Whetstone and Probability Cord to boost my overall gun damage. Black Cat Band is in the kit because it synergizes well with the Salvaged Heart. Reason being, when Cancer hits you, you usually are left with a lot of gray health. Black Cat keeps you alive with tons of gray health intact, and gives you a great opportunity to get back to full. Stone of Malevolence is used to keep your mods up at all times for the 20% damage and instant reload on use. Ring of Diversion is also in the build to make it easier to dodge Cancer's attack and make up for human error when dodging. Lastly is the Salvaged Heart. This heart will just about always bring you back up to full health after being hit in this fight. This relic will also apply 50% speed bonus on use. With all this, I also chose Challenger with the ability Juggernaut. I'm running this for the DR and the extra life. Challenger also gives other benefits to close quarters combat. With Challenger, I recommend Gunslinger. For the passive benefits to rate of fire, ammo reserves, reload, and overall damage. For the ability, choose whatever's best for you, however, I use the quick draw ability for the added burst damage. Out of all of this, the most important things to run in the kit is the Challenger class, the Bulldog gun, the Hotshot mod, the Twisting Wounds Mutator, the Black Cat Band, the Stone of Malevolence, and you can also swap Abrasive Whetstone with the Ravenger's mark. All the items that I didn't list aren't as much of a must-have for this fight. The informative part of the video is basically over now, but I'd like to take a quick moment to thank y'all. This script took me a long time to write, like a really long time. I tried to go a lot more in depth than I usually do, so letting me know if you like longer, more thorough guides, or shorter, more surface level guides in the comments helps me out a lot. I'm newer to content creation, so every opinion helps me out. The commentary is over, so I'm gonna let the rest of the clip play out. Thank you for listening, and goodbye.